Earlier you were playing one of Chapo's girlfriends, right? Interview, right? Or
Mm,
little girl that he had when she was very young,
mm,
and you translated that video, correct?
right. Well, yeah, best I could. Yeah.
But you know what? There's so many subjects we have to talk about. But that being said, I think earlier you had missed the part where the mom tells. Well, she said that her mom told Chapo that well, you could like throw me off a cliff, but I still want to ask you for permission for me to take my daughter.
Oh, that's what it was at the beginning, right? Yeah. Okay.
So here, she's saying like, look, don't, you could kill me for asking you this, but I still want to ask you for permission to take my daughter back. So
Right.
that kind of goes between like that fear, right, and the respect they have because they know who he is more than anyone else.
Mm,
They live there. They're from those areas.
mm.
And again, they see these figures not as themselves, but they also see what basically they represent. So it's like, you know, the cartel, just, all the people that are in the streets that represent a cartel, that's who they, see Chapo or Mayo or these bosses, like,
Right.
does that
They
make
see
any
the
sense?
guy that they see when they're walking to the market that's holding the big gun.
Yeah, so or any news or anything that they go through
Right.
violence in wherever town they're from or whatever little city they're from or stuff that
Stone
goes on in
collector.
the mountain regions where they're from, they allocate that to Chapo. It's not
Right.
like they see, that little kid with a gun. They don't see that. They see, Chapo, they see Mayo. It's like I guess gang members, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the city, I'm just like they they put everything like in a big hole of a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, it's like even if you know, um, Chapo would have been like, "Oh no, Senora, come have a little glass of wine with me," or whatever he said to her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like she knows what time it is because she's lived in that environment.
Right. She's acknowledging that hey, we're under duress to a certain extent. She's acknowledging, hey, I know you could throw me off a cliff just for asking this question.
Exactly, and he's like, "Oh no, why would I do that?
Why
I'm
would
a
I? I
nice
would
man. I just
never.
love
I
your
would
14-year-old
never.
daughter, you know." And I treat her good, and I tell her hermosita, whatever he says to her. Dad, you did say something the other day, and I want to make it clear.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you know what? I want my brother's and I's story, or me and my wife's story, to be told as a cautionary tale of,
Mm-hmm.
of hopefully to bring deterrence,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully to like inspire someone else to change their life or inspire someone not to get into a life,
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take every name calling you could give me. I'll take that, but and us talking about this, I really appreciate not that I feel like you're kind of picking and choosing a side,
Mm-hmm.
but that you're bringing some of these topics to light. Something that really people don't touch on, and I think that even just realizing or looking at your comments that people are thinking that because you call these people a certain word like all
Jesus
pedophile or whatever
Martinez just
it is,
subscribed on YouTube.
that they're thinking that you're making excuses for what me and my brother have done. And I just want to make it clear, like I never took that from you. I don't see you change your mind about how you feel about things.
Mm-hmm.
The same way I don't think that no matter if you found out that, I had did some crazy stuff like that, that you would change, how you
Right.
feel about me.
Right.
And
Right.
I want to make it clear, like, um, I do appreciate that you're kind of putting a light and kind of shining a light on this particular subject that many people overlook.
Mm.
Because let's face it, most of these people in the comments, most of the people who are actually looking at your videos are from America,
Mm-hmm.
are from the US. These are all those wannabes, people who are in the street that think they know everything. But then you give them a little insight of of their idols, and they get bothered right away. They're like, "Oh, well, there's some rats." I'm like, yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Call me whatever you want. We keep saying it. I'm not denying it. I'm not saying that I cooperated because I changed my mind or I decided that these people are not good people anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We say it all the time. We did what was best for us,
Mm-hmm.
and we made the decision that was best for us. Oh, but these are our reasons, my reasons. They don't have to be yours.
Right.
They're mine and my brother's reasons. And and I want this story to be told as a cautionary story.
Yeah, I think to anybody that uses half of a brain, can see it's a cautionary tale. You know what I'm saying? It's all a cautionary tale. If that video where Chapo got dude tied up in that little carport area, he's walking back and forth, and he's, you know what I'm saying, and he's talking about he's asking this dude questions. That dude's story is a cautionary tale too. You know what I'm saying? Like, people get frustrated, people get upset, they get mad when you expose something about their heroes, and it's like, well, go find you a new fucking hero, all right? Because it says more about you than it does your hero if you know all of his dirty little secrets, and he's still your favorite. He's still your favorite. Listen, there's subcultures. There's guys that like the bank robber, right? That's the guys they like. They like the bank robber, and some guys like the drug dealer, and some guys like the car thief.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has their own
Mm-hmm.
thing. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if you throw pedophilia, child abuse, grape, any of that shit in the mix of all of that, the thrill is gone. He don't go on a t-shirt for that reason. He don't go on a t-shirt for
You
no
know,
reason. He goes to
yeah,
the
you
the
you, you
upper
make a
room.
strong point because just to add to it, and I want to make it clear, like that's I never participated in none of that stuff. That's something, you know what, our mine's and my brother's life and my wife's life is out there, for the whole world to come and have an opinion. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
um, you as a man, regardless, I cooperate, I accept it, I accept a lot of things. I'm not gonna hide or lie about something. When it comes to those subjects. But that's not something that my brother and I ever participated in or ever cared for.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, because if you go back even to the Catholic Church, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you start seeing all these priests, right, and they started coming to life about all these,
Mm-hmm.
um, sexual situations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, guess what? And you've seen so many people turn away from the church, right? Because they stopped believing in it. They started, these were people that they were like, supposed to like look up to and have respect for, that were doing, some of the most outrageous stuff. And for some reason, when it comes to the culture, like the drug culture, the street culture, like people don't want to hear that. You know, I get all these alerts of videos. I just saw an alert of you know, a California hit on some dude that they said was a rapist or something like that. And what they did to him. But they only did it to him after he owed a drug debt.
Mm. The money.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Or he
underlying
only
the
did it to him after
underlying
he,
issue was the money.
yeah, and or he only did it after he disrespected the CO. You get me? And the CO basically, supposedly, the CO's basically left them uncuffed or whatever the case is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it's weird because even the culture there is starting to change. I did see a rapist get caught in New York, and I seen a couple people attack him. Did you see that recently?
Oh, that was
Sure.
recent. Yeah, 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 yeah. I like how
You
New
know,
York does shit, cause I saw them one time. They zip tied this dude that they said was I forget what it was, if he was out there essaying people or graping or trying to grape or whatever, but they had him tied up to a light pole, like mad tied up, like in a crazy position. He's like, "Let me down." They're like, "Hell no." You know what I'm saying? Now they're law. It's a lawless enough town where you can where you can do that. You know what I'm saying? We don't see that everywhere.
yeah, and shouts out to London too, man. No disrespect. I'm not counting you out. London, anyone watching from Africa, a few different continents and here in different
Right,
countries.
right. They
Shouts
get
out
down
to
for
the
that
world,
shit.
I guess. Um, but I'm just speaking kind of in general, and you know, you see some of these. What I think the community as a whole will probably do more than sometimes what the gang was supposed to do back in the day, right?
Absolutely.
Because let's face it, man, you hear some of these stories of some of you know these gang members, like be around when stuff like that goes down, when they see their homie beat up on a woman,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it's like it's like I mean, we're going to a different subject, but you take all that into a whole, and now you're bringing it to light, and you're saying, man, these are your idols, and basically, it's what my brother and I probably felt, idolizing these people, and some of these people who are going to view these videos are way younger, than we are. And I was around, before social media, before, if I knew of a drug lord, it's because of someone, my father knew, or someone was around us, and those stories were being brought to us,
Mm.
on a more personal note.
Right.
So I
That was
idolized
dinner
these
table
people.
talk.
Yeah, I idolized these people for a long time. Um, you know, to my father, having his sons, be on that around that table, be around those people that, and him seeing that they respected us, it was everything to him.
Mm.
Mm, until you get around them, and then your idols become your rivals, right?
Absolutely.
It's that simple, and you start seeing different things that how they're like, and I really want to say it's because I've been so focused, I guess, or my mind's always been on like the game. I never really cared to kind of like take myself out and look at their individual behavior, but that was one of the things at the trial that I know my brother was supposed to testify to, about certain things that we observed, certain instances where, he directed us to do something
Mm-hmm.
that we were not okay with. And part of that is, him wanting young girls from the United States,
Mm. He
in
he
particular African American girls.
he proposed this to you?
Yeah.
No shit.
And I remember telling him, like, look, man, like I swear, like this is exclusive for real. I said, look, I might get away with selling all these drugs.
Mm.
I might get away with some violence, some bodies, and all that. I said, but if I ever participate in something like that,
Mm.
first of all, that's not what I do. But if I ever could participate in something like that, I
Right.
said, yo, they'll come for us for sure.
Mm.
And he laughed and he said, who's gonna come for us? I'm like, oh, well, they're gonna come for me, and I don't want to be no part of that. Like,
Mm.
and I remember still being a little bit young, where I was like, shit, you know,
Mm.
you have other people who go do that shit for you. You don't involve me in your stuff.
Mm.
Um, again, maybe at that time I thought it was normal.
Did he push the issue?
Nah, probably every once in a while, you get me? Because that's a theme. You have to understand. There's people who at that time, I'm sure, I know that this was something that someone else was supposed to testify, because I actually saw some of the documents. Was, and this is reality. I saw a lot of people who I dealt with. They had like these, picture books, right, with really big pictures, and they'll have these pictures of these young girls, like in, I'm talking about, grammar school, 12, 13-year-old girls, and say, oh, when she turned 12, years old. And I used to be like, is that, this one's going to be 15,000, 20,000? You get me? Whatever,
So they had
it'll range from,
A Sears catalog of little girls.
yeah, yeah, for human trafficking, bro, basically. They're participating in human trafficking.
Okay.
And, who could afford, a young girl for,
Mm.
10, 25,000,
Right.
other than them drug lords? You get me?
Mm-hmm.
Then people like that, people with those type of money. So you
Mm.
can imagine, that's the people that I knew, they'll get passed along. And I'm sure other influential people, maybe, in Mexico, who had money. I know it's always been a thing. And